kind of the same thing to give you an example. How would you feel as parents if the school board decided that they were going to make mandatory sex education for every student of their own choosing? That would hopefully get people stand up a bit. The same thing is true when you try to decide what books are going to be accessible to the kids. Instead, the parents should be making it. So I want to just say I support the changes that were discussed at the special meeting and encourage you to follow through on that and pass them, hopefully unanimously. Thank you.
Good evening, President Cook, members of the board, Superintendent Heath, and Mr. Wade. I would like to express my support for the well-thought-out tiered book notification system policy that is on the agenda tonight. Actions speak louder than words, and the actions by the majority of this board and our superintendent have proven that they are in fact willing to listen, compromise, and do what is best for everyone in this school district. I am a parent of 2 elementary school students in this district, 2 boys who seem to have less in common by the day. What I, as their mother, may find appropriate or necessary for one of my boys will almost certainly not be the same for the other one. While my younger son might actually be able to handle more mature content or feel less afraid after a certain topic is discussed, I have to be a bit more careful with my older son. Every child is different. Every student is unique. We all have our own triggers. I struggle with finding common ground in my own home, so I cannot imagine how difficult it is to meet all needs in a very large public school district. But the tiered book notification system really does cover all the bases. Not only does this policy protect parental rights, it also promotes parental responsibility. President Cook, I was shocked and very disappointed to hear Annie and Rose give such a misleading interpretation of this policy earlier today on a radio show. The far-right radio host who interviewed them was actually under the impression that the new policy would take away a parent's right to know what their kids are reading, when in fact the policy does the exact opposite. Not only does this tiered policy let parents know exactly what their children are reading, it also gives complete control over what books their children can and cannot read to those 2 parents who want it. I also want to express my support for the decision to end book donations, and I suggest returning all of the books which have been recently donated. While Annie and Rose, along with their group of vocal complainers, found issue with Mr. Heath's comments last week about the makeup of this board, I respected his words because he was not wrong. Elections do have consequences, and I believe that if the board was made up differently, Mr. Heath would have said the exact same thing and made the same choice. However, I also believe that the 2 who found issue with his comments, they would not be complaining if Gil had won, but he did not get lost. Continuously making false claims about certain board members belonging to a certain political party makes no difference when we can see month after month that you, President Cook, along with a few others up on that stage, do not let their political affiliation get in the way of making pro-public school choices. Politics and religion have no space in a board member's decision-making. I strongly urge a yes vote on the policy changes tonight. Thank you.
I'm Elena Dykus, I live on Birdie Lane. And I'm speaking tonight, I think probably for at least the 5th or 6th time in the past couple of years when we've been talking about books. Tonight speaking in favor of the policy changes that are being proposed. I think it's unfortunate that there was so much misinformation that was disseminated about the changes that are being made tonight. I don't think that was helped really with the materials that were available to the public to review for tonight. I think clearer materials might have given people a clearer sense of what we are talking about tonight, because some of the situations that have been mentioned here tonight would actually be resolved with this policy. And all this policy does is give power to the parents to determine what books their children should see. And that's not a decision that a teacher or a librarian should make, because every child is different, every parent is different, and it should be squarely on the shoulders of parents to make those decisions for their own children. I'm fully in favor of the policy as it is being changed tonight. This conversation has really gone on for far too long. 75% of people in the community survey indicated that they had no concern with the materials we have in our libraries and the schools. And a strong majority in 11 surveys indicated that they are tired of these divisive culture war topics. Board members who like to bring up statistics only when they think the results are favorable to them should pay attention to that. I also want to take the opportunity tonight to comment on the hypocrisy of Mrs. Payne and Mrs. Iapolo's very public and enthusiastic support of people in the community who make and sell pornography for a living online where it is accessible to minors. I worked for several years at a nonprofit organization that helped children and adults who had been sexually abused. I can assure you that the people who perpetrated the abuse of the clients that we served there were not spending their time going to the library to read excerpts from the Blue Sky before committing their crimes on their victims. But numerous studies have demonstrated the link between men with sexually aggressive behavior and their use of visual pornography. It is the height of hypocrisy that you would so warmly embrace those who participate in these activities that are linked to sexual assault of children. It's absolutely shameful and clearly demonstrates your lack of real interest in protecting children in our schools from sexual assault. It serves only as a political talking point for you. Thank you.
Madam President, members of the board, Mr. Wade, Mr. Keith, thank you for your opportunity to speak this evening. I am in support of the proposed changes to board policy on library materials and the addition of option A to the administrative guidelines. This would be a great pro-parental rights system that puts parents in full control of the books their kids select. There may be many reasons why a parent would not want their child to read a particular book, and these guidelines respect and enable a parent's wishes to be followed without causing the child to leave with the library without a book. With these guidelines in place, there is no longer a need for 2505.03. That section is too vague, too cumbersome to implement, and unnecessary if option A is added to the administrative guidelines. The community has made it clear in a recent survey that the book issue needs to be resolved. The board, Mr. Heath and his team, have created a tiered system that all board members have supported at one point or another. Let's approve these changes and get on to some of the issues that our community finds to be more important. Thank you for the entire board and administration for your efforts to adopt a reasonable, workable system. These are the same comments I emailed to the board, but in case you've been busy and haven't had a chance to read your email, I wanted to add my comments here tonight. Thank you very much.
Good evening, President Cook, board members, Mr. Wade, Mr. Keith. My name is Tina Perkins, and I'm a parent in the district. Sorry. I have a 2019 Mentor graduate and 2 younger kids in elementary school here in Mentor. I am speaking also in support of the new proposed book policy, option A. This new tiered system gives parents full control over what their parents are reading should they choose. The previous sexual content policy did not include all books. It only included new additions to the media center and challenged books, leaving a big loophole for parents to have a false sense of security. Mr. Heath said Mentor did not add any books for this past school year, so there's less than 20 books that have been challenged. So unless I am incorrect, there are less than 20 books that are flagged for sexual content right now. I applaud President Cook and Mr. Heath meeting the needs of the community and coming up with a solution that all parents can get behind. This encompasses parents from all spectrums, including a small portion of parents who are concerned with reading materials in our schools. This is a much more comprehensive way to protect individual children because who knows them better than their parents? Also, as far as I'm aware, it will cost the district nothing to implement. This also frees up hours that Mr. Heath was spending on the book challenges, and time is money. That's what defending district dollars looks like. This policy also does not infringe on any other students' rights to read what their parents allow. Recently, Ms. Iopoulos said on her Facebook page that protecting the minds of our youth should be the top priority of all 5 board members. Actually, That's not the job of a board member. That is my job as a parent. I want to see the board working together to put differences aside and work on issues that can unite us all, such as increasing our academic and literacy scores, seeking solutions to our bullying and disciplinary issues, and making Mentor Schools a safe and welcoming learning environment for all students. Thank you.